Do you ever just feel so bad with your drawing that you just can't continue? Like, oh my God, I'm am I even meant to be an artist? Or this is not it for me, obviously, because I have so much anxiety while working on this piece, so much terror almost towards your own work, which should be a pleasurable thing, right? We do it because we love it. You do it because you love it, don't you? Or you'll be fine. There, there is so much anxious thinking towards your work. A lot of things that have to happen simultaneously while you are working on it, right? The drawing has to be a kind of a practice. It has to make you a better artist, and it has to be better in a way that is better than your previous work, but without any like clear indicator or marker of what being better means. It's just, oh, this is not quite it. And what you end up doing is you confuse how you are feeling in the moment of working on a project with how the project is making you feel. When I am teaching, the biggest thing that I inspect when a student is telling me that they have a lot of anxiety towards their work is, what is your default position while you are working? And what I mean is that it's very easy to arrive at a situation where you are positioned yourself in a way where you are almost built to be anxious, right? If you think of like the default drawing position for many people, it's like this. And like, oh, I'm just here, I'm just drawing. And you almost like become protective of yourself, of your work, in a way where if someone is, kind of coming up behind you and it's like, what are you doing? They have to lean in real close, and you are not protected from that. And so the default position matters a whole lot because, as the saying goes, a mental illness is all in your head, but so are you. And the body is just one experience. When you think of your memories, for instance, the way that memories feel is basically that you are somewhere else. And it's basically that you are disassociating from your current reality, what's happening around you, and you are borrowing your body to relive those memories. And so, depending on how you are postured, right, if you are having a really good day and you think back upon your long life, then there will be a lot more joy to be found versus if you are very sad, then that anxiety will permeate all those memories. It's like you don't even remember ever being happy because when you try to look back at a memory, you twist the knife, and it's like, oh, but that wasn't really that good because he and she they said something like this and that, and you turn the memory away from the original emotional state that you had because your current posture, your body, is in an experience. So, what is the solution? The solution is not to blame the work for what you are doing to yourself. It is without guilt, okay? And the way to do that is really to look at how your default position is and then to reset. So I'm going to be doing an exercise with you now, which really involves this reset. And you're going to try it, and then you're going to see that you can actually draw from a place of peace. That where no matter what it is you're drawing, you can actually just do it peacefully. That's my promise to you. And the first thing we have to do is really fix the body itself, right? We start with where the cradle of emotions come from, which is deep below from your experience. And the way we reset is that we're going to use our breath, and we're going to use again the default position. So I'm in my home studio here, and I'm feeling pretty good, right? Like this is a safe space. I have my back against the wall. And if you are looking around you, think about how can you make your space more safe? How can you make it so that you feel protected to be immersed in your work without being interrupted? Because if you're worried about the door or looking productive, that will influence how you feel and make you feel worse about the work because you yourself don't feel safe to take a real risk. Because all of these things that you are worried about are also true, but they won't help you to get the drawing done. It's only by making mark after mark after mark and trying these small changes and iterations that you can actually make real progress. So take a stock of your workspace and just think of this word, safety. Do you feel safe in your own home? And hopefully the answer is yes. So there is no chance of some art police coming in and just killing you for drawing the wrong toenail, okay? That doesn't happen. And don't imagine so. Next, you are going to ground your feet, like put your feet on the floor and really feel it. Like I have a carpeted floor, so just I have bare feet, just feeling it, and just to notice how you sit and how you feel. And then lean back. Now, I'm gonna teach you the breathing technique that I would say changed my life. And we're gonna be breathing through our nose, so obviously easy. But I want you to imagine that instead of breathing up, right? Instead of breathing up here in the skull and pulling up at the shoulder, you just really want to press your air back into your head because the nasal cavity inside the skull is significantly larger this direction. And I want you to really feel your diaphragm as you do so. And when you have your breath at the maximum, you're going to take a bit more air in. So and this is a calming breath. So you're just going to keep doing that to breathe in and expand and then pull in one bit more of air and then breathe out. And notice how as you do each breath, you are slowly resetting to what I would call a base state. It is just you being in the room without any modifiers of joy or anxiety. It's just quite neutral. So let's go back to that drawing from this point of view of our state, you could say. That how do we judge the drawing now from that point of view? And what I'm going to do is for the next 5 minutes, I'm just be guiding you. So whatever drawing you do, it can also just be random marks. You don't have to have a reference. You don't have to draw anything specific, okay? It's just for you to explore how it feels to be alive and breathing and drawing. And to inspect what that means to you, okay? So we're going to be breathing deep, diaphragm out, and then as we breathe out, we're going to be looking at our drawing. You're going to be looking at your drawing, and then in the next breath, you're going to decide, and then before the next breath, you are going to decide what line you are going to make. So just one line. And then you're going to breathe in again and just look. So it will be one breath, one line, one breath, look, breath, line, look, right? And that will be the whole pattern. All right, so 5 minutes of this. Are you ready? Really feel your grounding first of all, right? You don't even have to draw. the most important moment to do this and to remind yourself of this phenomenon that you can just breathe your way back to the baseline is in this moment before you want to quit. Because you are polluting your creative process. So, look at your drawing, look at your page, and if it's white or empty, just make one mark, okay? Just one line, so that now it's dirty, right? You cannot make a perfect page now. And you're gonna breathe and look. And I want you to just try out. And you can see that there isn't much space to make a long, big line for each breath. And just look and evaluate. You take a deep breath again. And you can be drawing in your own pace. Remember to really take the time to breathe and look. And sometimes it's okay to just look at the drawing. And as you're breathing in, just thinking about what is the next step. To not blindly rush to, oh, I need to have this finished, but really to stay in the process of really genuinely evaluating what is happening in front of you. And you breathe, and you might feel a bit funny because you have never slowed down and used your breath as a tempo before. This is my assumption. Maybe you're rewatching this video to just get the sense of it again. But a really big part of being an artist is to look at your own work without additional anxiety. To keep working, even when it's not going right. Because it's when you are able to keep working that you are able to actually arrive at a proper solution, one pencil mark at a time. So there's just about 1 minute left of these 5 minutes, and just notice how little you drew. Right? It's like, oh, drawing from this place, it's like there is no rush. And that's really one of the main objects of frustration, is that this drawing should have been finished yesterday. This drawing should have been finished 2 years ago, right now. Now. And if you focus on the end result as your guidance of success, remember to breathe, don't let up now. If you only focus on the final result and not what you are actually doing every single day, and you can put your pencil down and just look at the drawing that you did. Every single day that you are an artist, you are going to be creating. You are going to be creative. And that is iterative. It requires you to actually do it. much more than it requires you to celebrate any kind of success. The daily process of being an artist is in these little marks. One line, one breath, repeated the whole day. And what happens when you are so focused on the end result, the future, is that you are borrowing your body, you're disassociating from it and imagining the end result of like all these glorious things that will happen, to the point where you lean in, to the point where you stop breathing. And then you're sitting there like freaking out, imagining all these beautiful things that will happen once this drawing is done. And so of course you're frustrated because you're imagining all these rewards happening right now, but the drawing is not finished. The drawing is not complete. And so all this frustration of the result just not being instantaneous and given to you for free is being put into your work. And every single emotional state is put into your drawing. And you might not get a sense of it in the final result, but if you had grace for yourself, to really allow yourself peace while you're drawing, remember, just taking a deep breath in and out, to reset yourself, to come back to your baseline, to notice how you're feeling and treating you in this moment with respect, with kindness. Because it's only by being neutral that we can really receive the emotional state from the drawing, that we can be present to it in a way where we can actually work on it for the period of time that will allow us to have the kind of success that we imagine that it will give us. But those things cannot happen if you are so anxious and so frustrated and scared that you are never going to draw, that you are never going to actually do the effort, because you are so frightened by what that effort actually means, because you are not taking care of yourself. So unfortunately, art advice is life advice. So safety, emotional safety first. Do you feel safe in your space? Do you have enough time to take the risk of making something that might not work? And how can you secure that time for yourself? And if you don't feel safe, then it will be more prudent, then it will be more important to really focus on, why don't you feel safe? Why don't you feel like it's okay? And there can be plenty of reasons. And they might not matter in the actual moment of creativity. Is there a way for you to put them aside, even if it's just for an hour, and then think about them then, so that you can actually be present with the work, that their interference is making it basically impossible to finish, to do? So take a breath with your drawing and stay with it. If you do that, then you'll actually always be able to draw, because you can come back to, oh, I'm just here making a little thing, being alive on this crazy planet. My name is Jonsen Luslist, and this is what I do. This is what I have to do every day to not freak out, because I have a lot of things I want to do, and all of those things, they want to be done simultaneously, but I'm only one thing. I'm only one me, one person. And so if all of those things want to be done at the same time, that is impossible. And so if I judge myself for never doing any of those things, then I am not in for a good time. And that's what I want to be. I want my creative process to allow myself to do all those things I imagine myself to be. So, breath, allow yourself that grace of actually taking care of yourself in the moment as you are being a creative. And then find a way to put aside the things that are due, right? The things you should be doing, the things that these things you could also take your time. Calendar, put them on paper. Make them so that you can actually find them later and then do them then. But right now you're drawing one step at a time, right? Breath, line, look. That is the process of most creative processes. And if you do this consistently, I think it will have a very big impact in your creative process. So remember to breathe so that you don't die. Okay. Have a good day.